I never thought that one of the darkest moments of my life, getting robbed inside my own home, would uncover something so twisted, something that would change how I looked at my own family forever. But here I am, telling you this story because I still can't wrap my head around what really happened. Tell me honestly, if you were in my shoes, would you have done what I did in the end? Would you have forgiven them, or burned every bridge like I did? It all started one quiet Sunday evening. I live alone. My husband passed away years ago, and I've been managing just fine. My daughter Anna and her husband Mark visit often, sometimes bringing my 2 adorable grandkids. We've always been close. Or at least, I thought we were. That night I was sitting in my living room, sipping tea and reading, when I heard the sound of glass shattering from the kitchen. Before I could react, 2 masked men burst into my house. One of them grabbed me by the arm and pushed me down. They screamed for money, jewelry, anything valuable. I was terrified. My hand shook as I gave them everything. Cash, family heirlooms, even my late husband's watch. Within minutes, they were gone. They left me on the floor, shaking, heart pounding, surrounded by broken glass and the sound of my own breath echoing in the silence. The police came quickly, took statements, dusted for prints, but you know how these things go. They told me that robberies like this often go unsolved. It felt like my whole world had collapsed in one night. I lost so many things that carried memories. I couldn't sleep for days. Anna and Mark came to check on me the next morning, acting concerned, asking for details, holding my hand. I cried in my daughter's arms, telling her how scared I was. Mark sat quietly the whole time, occasionally glancing at the broken cabinet where my jewelry used to be. I thought maybe he was just shocked, but something about his expression, cold, detached, unsettled me. A week later, while still trying to recover, I heard something that froze my blood. Anna called, excitedly telling me that she and Mark had bought a new house and a brand new car. She said, "Mom, you have to come see it. It's beautiful." Mark's business deal finally went through. I tried to sound happy for them, but my stomach tightened. Just days after I was robbed, my son-in-law somehow had enough money for a new house and car. That was strange, to say the least. Mark was a construction contractor, and things hadn't been going well for him. Just 2 weeks before, Anna told me they were behind on mortgage payments. Now suddenly, they were living lavishly. Something didn't add up. I tried to push the thought aside. Maybe Mark really did get lucky with a deal, but when I visited their new place a few days later, I couldn't shake the eerie feeling. The house was stunning. Brand new furniture, designer appliances, and even a luxury car parked outside. As soon as I stepped in, Mark greeted me with an awkward smile. "Surprised," he said. Finally caught a break. Anna beamed beside him, and for a moment, I almost believed everything was fine. But then I noticed something. A familiar gold ornament on the living room shelf. My heart nearly stopped. It was my grandmother's gold figurine, the one that was stolen during the robbery. I'd know it anywhere. I froze, staring at it while Anna kept talking about their new kitchen. My mind was spinning. Why was my stolen item in their house? I didn't say anything right away. I needed to be sure. I made an excuse to use the restroom and slipped into the guest room. That's when I saw more of my things. My antique vase, my husband's framed photo in its distinct wooden frame, and even the embroidered cushion I'd made years ago. My hands trembled. I took a deep breath and walked out, pretending nothing was wrong. I didn't want to cause a scene in front of the kids, but my heart was racing so fast it hurt. That night, I couldn't sleep. My thoughts were consumed with rage, confusion, and heartbreak. Could Mark have done this? Could my daughter have known? I decided to test the waters. The next day, I called Anna and told her that the police had found new leads in the robbery case, that they might have traced some of the stolen items to a pawn shop nearby. She went silent for a second before saying, "Oh, that's good, Mom," but I could hear a hint of panic in her voice. Later that evening, Mark called me himself. He said, "Hey Mom, maybe it's best if you drop this whole investigation thing. It's not worth the stress. You're safe now. That's all that matters." His tone was too casual, too forced. That was my confirmation. So that's the situation I was in, and I had to make a choice. Should I confront them directly, go to the police, or pretend I knew nothing and gather evidence first? Before I tell you what I did next, I want you to pause and tell me in the comments. What would you have done in my place? Would you have risked tearing your family apart to find the truth, or stayed quiet to protect your daughter? I decided to be smart about it. I contacted the detective assigned to my case and told him everything I'd noticed. He advised me to stay calm and help them set a trap. Together, we planned a quiet check of the pawn shops in the area, and sure enough, several of my jewelry pieces had been sold a few days after the robbery, by someone matching Mark's description. The police asked me to keep visiting my daughter as usual, not to raise suspicion. So, I played along. I visited, smiled, laughed with the kids, and secretly took photos of every stolen item I spotted in their house. Each time I left, I felt like my heart was breaking a little more. 2 weeks later, the police got a warrant. I wasn't there when they raided the house, but I heard everything from the officers. They found nearly all of my stolen things, hidden in the garage and attic. Mark was arrested on the spot. Anna was hysterical, claiming she didn't know anything. But when the truth came out, it was even worse than I imagined. Mark had planned the robbery himself, hiring 2 men to stage it. He had been drowning in debt and saw my home as an easy target. He figured I wouldn't suspect family, and that I'd be too shaken to investigate deeply. He sold half my jewelry to pay off his debts, and used the rest to make a down payment on that new house and car. When I confronted Anna later, she broke down crying. She admitted she'd started to suspect something was wrong after I mentioned the pawn shop clue, but was too scared to face the truth. She begged me to forgive Mark for the sake of their kids. I wanted to. God knows I did. But how could I? The man stole from me, lied to me, and shattered every ounce of trust I had in him. I told her I loved her and the kids, but that I couldn't look at Mark the same way again. The court case dragged on for months. Mark eventually confessed under pressure, and the men he hired testified against him. He's now serving time in prison. I got most of my valuables back, but honestly, they don't mean much anymore. Every time I look at them, I remember that betrayal. Anna moved in with me for a while after the sentencing, trying to rebuild her life, but things have never been the same. She still visits with the kids, and I do my best to be strong for them. You know, what hurts the most isn't the stolen things. It's the fact that someone I welcomed into my family, someone I trusted like my own son, saw me as a bank account instead of a person. He smiled in my face, ate dinner at my table, and planned to rob me behind my back. I keep replaying that night in my head, wondering if there were signs I missed. Maybe I was too trusting, too naive. But what could I have done differently? Family is supposed to mean safety, love, loyalty, not greed. Still, part of me hopes that when Mark sits in that cell, he thinks about what he did. Not just to me, but to his wife and kids. I don't hate him anymore. I've realized that holding on to that anger only poisons me further. But I'll never forget it. And I'll never let anyone make me feel that vulnerable again. I've changed all my locks, installed cameras, and even adopted a big dog. But most importantly, I've learned that trust is earned, not given just because of blood or marriage. So that's my story. If you were me, would you have forgiven your daughter's husband? Would you still let your daughter visit? I really want to know how others would handle something like this, because even now, I sometimes wonder if I did the right thing. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I was too soft. Maybe both. Anyway, thank you for listening to my story. It's taken me a long time to talk about it without breaking down. If you think I did the right thing, please give this video a thumbs up. It means a lot to me. And if you've ever been betrayed by someone close, share your experience in the comments below. You never know who might find comfort in your words. Don't forget to subscribe for more true stories like this one. I'll see you all in the next story.